Oh wait, Sadly is playing. How did I just notice that?
Sadly, he's in French. Yeah.
He's playing in French. Oh, yes. All right, they're going. But Sadly, okay, we're good. They are going. Oh, I can't wait for this run. We're gonna hear the comment. We're gonna hear the game in non-English. How exciting! So both these guys, obviously, very established runners of the game. Sadly ran the game at GDQ this year, I believe. Slendbed also a very good runner. Now, it'll be interesting to see what coin route both the guys take. As we've seen across most of this tournament so far, runners have used varying degrees of coin routes to get through their ASM runs.
Since some runners are varying degrees of newness, that's not a word, but it gets across my point.
Yeah. So there's certainly like an age factor to some of the coin routes as well. There's been a lot of changes recently in some of the coin routes from the top-ended players. I know I think Liquid and a few others have started mini coin grinding. So it'll be interesting to see if Sadly is one of the ones to take that up, or whether Slendbed does that as well. Never a lot to say about these early missions in the game. We just got the tutorial, which we got out of the way.
Yeah, so you have someone like Liquid, who is constantly trying to reinvent the category, and then people like myself and LP3, whose coin routes are so old, they walked with dinosaurs.
The dinosaur coin route. I think I'm probably in that category as well, to be fair. I haven't been keeping up recently, but yeah, so Liquid and a few of us, if you're not familiar for anyone watching, but maybe hasn't seen Sharp before, Liquid is the current world record holder, and looks to stay away for a while. He keeps innovating his coin route, shaving seconds off here and there, and he's starting mini coin grinding, which is one of the things that's been picked up. Sadly, moving on here. Again, not too much to say about the early missions. The coin routes are going to be fairly similar. There isn't really any innovation they can drop in this early point of the game.
Hey, du gâteau. Gâteau. C'est parti.
So here we have a mission whereby Homer attempts to collect some items he borrowed from Flanders. The context of which becomes very weird when Homer tells you what the final item is.
Yes, we won't spoil that surprise. Just let you see. But there is some plot in this game somewhere. There's aliens, and there's oh, sadly, just missing the vending machine though. That may.
Oh no! Bunny went for a little ride.
Oh dear. Oh, he's still going. Yeah, so sadly just missing the vending machine now. Probably pick that up in a little while. Ah yes, the inhaler from the top of a duff truck. There is a reason for this. Probably. Because where else would you store an inhaler?
Explained.
Yeah. My favourite line for most of the commentaries I've done so far has just been, this is Simpsons, don't apply too much logic to it. The missions get far weirder. Later on we will be hitting a van to get 8 baby diapers. And it only goes downhill from there, honestly. Both runners here. And you may see, sadly, it's something that in the commentaries we don't often get time to touch on, but both runners are going to be saving minute amounts of time by doing things such as jumping on top of the cars to prevent animations of the characters walking around, or just simply jumping or kicking before the end of the mission so that they can maintain control of their character. Because usually there would be a couple of seconds where the character would do a victory dance. Not something we really get to touch on too often, as soon as we've got the time. Sadly here, pretty good Lenny push, but he's sort of rolling back under the car. Gets him. It's always really scary when he starts heading the way of the vehicle.
And something that doesn't get touched on, something that's a little bit odd about this game is that only your cars have getting in and out animations. So getting into pedestrian cars, that you don't need to jump on them.
Yeah, correct.
It very minutely changes the way a couple of things are done, depending on if you have to use the level car or an NPC car.
Yeah, that's true. So both runners will be picking their little time saves up here and there. Sadly, here going for one of the first major tactics of the game. Gets him lined up in there nicely. Good damage.
So from what I remember, Homer was late for work and has to destroy Smithers' vehicle before he can report to Burns that Homer was late.
Season, I'm so glad you know what's going on. I always skip past anything to do with dialogue and plot. I really don't know what's going on. So yeah, don't be late. Chap, that's a good mission. Sadly, trying to take the quick jump here, has to redo it once, but saves a bit of time. Slendbed doesn't look like he's gonna have any luck.
And something you might you'll notice, both runners are on PC, and something you will notice is that the PC version of this game is compatible with a load remover. So in loading screens, the timer actually will stop and will only then keep going during actual gameplay.
Yeah, that's correct as well. So that's really useful for us runners as we're doing it. Sadly, did fall there, lost a few seconds, but recovered really well. Slendbed unfortunately didn't get the backup either, so did have to drive a little way.
And not only that, but with PC, you can play this game on a much higher frame rate than on consoles, which is the case with most PC games. Most top runners with top PCs will play this game at roughly 120 FPS or so. And there are certain things in this game that are FPS dependent. The button jump that sadly did in the previous mission being one of those.
Yeah, that's correct. And a lot of the physics in this game, as you mentioned, is directly linked to your frames per second. So if you're playing this game without that frame limiter on a brand new PC in 2018, chances are you will be playing it anywhere between 300 and 500 FPS. It doesn't sound like a problem, but when you're coming off ramps and jumps and your car just won't stop, it can be a little bit of a problem. So the guys will limit it.
Because this game's physics are a little bit odd, to say the least. And you add on the factor of playing at multiple hundred frames per second, makes it a lot more difficult to do almost anything.
Yeah. So it's a nice... I don't know about nice. It's just an oddity. Both, sadly now moving on to his post-second unskippable cutscene mission. Slendbed currently on it. We kind of skipped past it, but this is really a high point for the game. The sexy footage cutscene. We only get better from here. And is the second of the 3 unskippable cutscenes. The rest of the both runners trying to skip. And sadly does grab the wasp there in the trailer park.
So something in this game that you will do a lot is follow a car, and with the game slowly getting more difficult as it progresses, in the first couple of levels, cars you follow will actually rubber band. So if you stay either way in front or way behind this van you're following, it slows down a lot.
Yeah.
Although I sadly will show here, if you get out of your car, it doesn't do that anymore. So you can get out of your car and it will drive at full speed no matter how far away it is.
Yep, and as you say, start getting out of his car here. Another little oddity, you can actually be quite a distance away and still complete the mission, so it gives the runners time to just grab that third wasp and wait for the mission to finish naturally. Now he does have to get out. Sorry, I was just going to say he does have to get out of his vehicle for the third one due to the way that wasps work in this game, and this may be something that we come into where if the runners decide to do something called menu warping, but you can only grab 2 freebie wasps with your car before the hitbox in your vehicle will just disappear, so you can't pick any more wasps up in your car. So that's why Sally was getting out there for the third one. Pick it up on foot.
And that's a couple of things. The in your car animation also works. That is combined with the butt stomp.
Yeah.
And also something that gets done a couple more times in this game, in this run. You don't have to get to the end of a follow route. You just have to be within the allowed distance of the car that you're following when it gets to the end. And that will be used a couple of times, especially in a mission in the next level.
Yeah, exactly. Sadly, his Bone Storm was pretty good. There is a shortcut that both runners will be looking to make. Unfortunately, didn't make that. But otherwise, no major upsets. Slendbed grabbing that vending machine, which I don't think Sadly got.
No, and Slendbed got the vending machine after Blind Big Brother as well, which is something that's so old, not even I do it anymore.
Yeah, so there's some real blends already going on from both runners' coin routes. Let's see how Slendbed's Bone Storm gets on. It's not easy. This Bone Storm, which I say Slendbed's currently doing, looks deceptively easy, but actually it can be quite tricky to get all 10 before the the shortcut. So we'll see if he gets it. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. No, he's gone long a bit. And
this is another thing that may be more difficult if, say, you don't have a particularly good computer, or like me, you have to run on console or sort of having a potato. Hitting when you do missions where you have to hit cars to get objects out of them, the higher your FPS, the softer the hit can be. So for someone like me, getting Bone Storm before the shortcut that we didn't unfortunately see is pretty much impossible.
Yeah. And yet another oddity of the frames in this game. It does impact a lot more than you may realise just from watching it on stream. Slendbed wrapping up there, moving on to his final one. Something we didn't mention actually from Sadly's one, we'll sit here with Slendbed, is instead of racing all the way back round the circuit to the front of Burns' mansion, both runners here, in fact nearly all runners of this game, will reset their vehicle at the door which appears and just simply clip through it on the reset. Saves so much time as opposed to driving all the way around, and it's pretty easy to do as long as you line the back of the car up properly. Slendbed about to move on here, and Sadly does nab that fast car as well, which makes a significant difference. The runners are going to be wanting to grab the taxi or the fast car, but obviously fast car, being in the name fast, is faster than the taxi, so he's going to appreciate the fact that turned up for him.
Yeah, since in the first 2 levels, the cars you get given are not as fast as some of the traffic cars that exist within the level, and as such, you try and drive those as much as you can.
Yeah.
Hence why we get in either a minivan or a pickup truck for destroying Smithers, and we try and get into a taxi or a sports car as many times as we can in this level where it's actually appropriate for us to do so.
Yeah. Good point, good point. Slendbed here, let's see how his escape goes from Skinner. Can be kind of tricky. Slendbed showing how it's done. No issues there.
And we just saw from Sadly a minute ago there the first instance of the mini coin grinding we were talking about earlier on. So if you just kick a box, it takes 3 kicks to destroy the box, and once the box is destroyed, it's forever destroyed. It doesn't respawn if you leave the level and come back. However, if you kick a box once or twice, you can still get some of the coins, but leaving the level, or I believe just warping to a different level, respawns its HP to 3 kicks, and that is abused somewhat in newer coin routes for this mission, in this category rather, but is used basically for required to do 100% for this game.
Yep, actually that's just what I was about to say. If you haven't watched any ASM runs for a while, and you're thinking, hey, this is new, it is in fact new, and you may be familiar with it from the 100% run, like you said, where there's quite a heavy coin grinding section in the Bart 2 coin vending machine / box area in the Krusty Studios. So it's kind of just like an extension of that, but something that the runners will be doing now, potentially across the entire game, as opposed to just in that one area. Sadly, wrapping up his race on Vox No Julie, the early mission, which can kill plenty of runs due to the speed that the race car goes in that split.
Since you race a nerd car in that mission whilst driving comic book guy's car. I believe it's called the Kremlin. But I don't know. But either way,
sounds good. Sounds good. I like that.
The nerd car is actually faster than you, but as such, it's programmed to not drive in a particularly great way. It's programmed to crash and spin out. However, if you get really unlucky and it just doesn't do that, there is a real chance you could fail. Yeah.
Sadly, there just went for, again, another new strat, which is you can get the black van to fly through the construction area. It saves a few seconds having to get drive around. He tried to line it up, but the van was not having it, unfortunately, so he had to go around the long way. No major time loss compared to traditional routes, though. Wasp was not being kind to him, though. He's going to have to pick that up in a future split.
Something that sadly I believe he did there was he made sure that before doing going for either of those wasps, the van went past the car wash, because it's a square, a little square, but and in order for the mission to progress, the black van has to go past we just saw Slend failing the nerd race there as just after we started talking about how sometimes it can happen to someone.
Yeah.
Anyway, we saw the square that you have to go past, and the black van has to go past a waypoint that is within that square. However, it is not exactly on the corner, so if it doesn't go past the car wash, but instead goes the other way, it can get really confused, get stuck, which is really annoying and costs runners a lot of time.
Yeah, that's very true. I have that unfortunately fairly often in my runs, so I never pain of that. As you said, Slendbed did unfortunately demonstrate how easy it is to fail a mission, and he's struggling to grab a traffic car, unfortunately. I think he will pick one up. Eventually.
And by this point, it was definitely not faster.
No. Yeah, if you commit too much time into securing the fast car over the taxi, to the point where that happens, probably just take the taxi. But he is going. Sadly, is obviously ahead here, quite a chunk ahead due to that failed mission from Slendbed. Don't rule anyone out yet. We've got many split to go.
And many more opportunities for a failed mission, or about 20.
Yes. The game only gets harder, so we'll see how both runners cope with the rest of this game. Another interesting mission in terms of just, well, plot and purpose, picking up flat meat. 14 of them, delivering them to the Krusty Burger. There's probably a reason for doing this as well. You may know Seasoner.
You help Cletus with his mission so that he gives you a satellite dish which Frink needs to build the Trichosaurus.
Oh, okay. Logical, I guess. Thinking about it. And we did see Slendbed there, which I didn't really get time to comment on. Oh, no, sorry, I'm getting confused. He's on a completely different split. My bad. My eyes deceived me. thought we were on the same split.
Sadly, unfortunately, this was not playable for Sadly right now.
Does get it in the end. Unfortunately, he did have to commit some time there to pick up the Wasp, which ideally he would have got before, but the Wasp AI, for some particular troublesome Wasps, it's just a bit weird, and occasionally they can just do the thing where we're having none of it and they will fly away. It'd be very awkward. Sadly, did have that the first time around. Let's see how he deals with the escape here. I'm just engrossed and enthralled listening to the French. This is all new to me.
If this is new to you, then I have some news. There will be a little bit later on you're going to absolutely love.
Oh, good. I look forward to it. Maybe I should start doing my runs in a different language. This is golden content. Oh, we did see Sadly there as well perform that main menu warp, which we sort of touched on earlier. So what he did is he.
I was actually expecting Slendbed to do the main menu warp after he didn't immediately get a car following the nerd race, but because if once you main menu warp, no matter what car you're driving, after resuming game, you are put back into the base car for the level that you are currently in. So getting into the traffic car and then main menu warping is pretty much a waste.
Yeah, this is true. But Caesar, do you want to quickly explain what main menu warping is? I know we touched on it earlier, but
so this game is programmed to only allow you to pick up a certain number of wasps whilst driving, as we mentioned earlier, but that doesn't carry over if you main menu warp and then restart the game, resume game. That counter resets, and especially for a mission like the one Sadly's doing right now, where you will pick up or potentially pick up a lot of wasps or boxes near wasps, that's really helpful. Now, it's something that I don't particularly do, since because I run on console, I have to run without the loadless timer. But since if your loads are quite small, if your loads are quite short, and most of the time will be card off anyway, since you're leaving and exiting a loading screen, it's probably really good for you to be doing this, and it's a lot more consistent than trying to get this box that Sadly has unfortunately just missed.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. So Sadly, actually, as you were describing it, he picked up 2 of the wasps as a result of his main menu warp very easily. Ordinarily, had he not have main menu warped, he would have had to get out of his vehicle to destroy the wasp the good old-fashioned way, with
as he had to do whilst in Cletus's truck in the previous mission.
Yeah, so just speeding it up massively. Sadly getting a bit high in his hit and run meter, but I don't expect that to give him much trouble. Slendbed here. Let's see how his escape is from a poo.
I don't think it's going to go particularly. Yeah, poo didn't follow him in, and now he's going to be in a little bit of trouble.
So let's see how he decides to respond to this. A couple of ways that runners can. Yep. So immediate loop back round in the park area. Hopefully, a poo will get caught. And he does. Okay.
Oh, he's in a black van.
That's
Sadly, now moving on to one of this game's most notorious annoying missions.
Yes, the good old sellout. So Sally's going to be wanting to destroy 4 sellout cars, 4 destructible cars. As with nearly all, in fact all destructible missions in this game, the best way to get quick damage on is to thrust them into solid objects like walls and barriers and things like that. So both runners are going to be doing that for the duration, the duration of these destructible missions. Let's see how he does.
Now, the thing with this mission, and we'll see this a few more times as well, but particularly this one because it isn't drive to the next place to spawn the next one. These cars all spawn, well, apart from the first car, they all spawn in particular places. So if you are out of place after destroying a car, the one immediately afterwards may spawn either beside you or behind you, and therefore you'll miss out on a big damage on the big first hit. Luckily, sadly, hasn't had that happen to him and is on pace for really good sellouts right now.
Yeah, Sully was actually having an exceptional, there we go, sellouts. Just until that traffic ban sort of nabbed a few seconds off him, but still a really good sellout.
Still
to be fair.
really good.
Nothing to complain about there. And Sally will be coming up here on the first potential cutscene skip. Now, this is the most difficult, I believe, because it is a 1 frame as opposed
This
to
is 1 frame, and the others are 2 frames each.
So let's see how he does. Slendbed, meanwhile, just grabbing what coins he can, deciding to get the wasp there. On foot.
Oh no! He waited.
I think he
too
went.
long.
I think maybe he was trying to get the 1 pause, but yeah, like you say, just waited a bit too long. So this is interesting. It may give Slendbed the opportunity to tie this up, or at least get closer than he is currently. Not the worst cutscene skip to miss, but any cutscene skip missed is a cutscene skip missed. But we do get to watch Truckosaurus in French, so not too much complaining from me.
So, for those who don't know what the cutscene skips are, the game is programmed in a slightly weird way, in that the cutscenes that exist after a level is over are still within the missions, but in the same way sort of not within the missions, in the sense that once the mission is completed, it takes a frame for the cutscene to start after the game recognizes that the mission is over. Hence, we can pause the game and start the next mission whilst therefore not watching the cutscene, but the game believes that you have.
Yeah, there's that very small window where you can hit them. If you menu at the right time, you will be able to navigate, as you say, to the next level. But it is a very small window, and it is difficult to hit. Sadly, unfortunately, missed it there.
The thing that's weird about the game is that it recognizes that you've completed the mission, you've moved on to the next mission, and it recognizes you've watched the cutscene, but the game also doesn't recognize you watched the cutscene, if that makes any sense. In the sense that if you were to replay the mission, play the mission and get the cutscene skip, if you then were to play the mission again and not get the cutscene skip, you'd have to watch the cutscene.
Yeah, it's
The game's a little bit. It's really finicky in that respect, and it doesn't really seem to make that much sense.
like most of the Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, you are right. There's another oddity. Slendbed struggling here with the first car. He's gone a lot further than he would have liked it to go, but it looks like he'll be able to pick it up here before it interferes with his positioning for the next car.
Yeah, if either of the runners miss the next cutscene that can potentially be skipped, that will be where we really have the opportunity to show how weird this game actually is.
Yeah, weirdness detailed.
Although, sadly, missing it would be pretty hilarious, because that cutscene in French is something to behold.
Yeah. I actually just read in chat as well. Sally said when he was forced to watch that cutscene, but he was fairly certain he was on PB pace, even with RTA, which is actually really upsetting. Shows how well the start of Sally's run's gone for him. If he was on PB pace, really good start. The only real issue, like we said, he's had so far was missing that cutscene skip. Slendbed here coming upon his final car to destroy. Now, Sally's on a mission here.
With the issues he's had, his sellouts is not going to be as good as Sadly's. It's going to be at least 40 seconds down, I think.
It'll be interesting to see if he gets this one before the corner. Ooh, getting close. He's just sort of hitting it at the wrong angle and twisting the back end of the car out.
A full-on hit directly on the back of the car would have destroyed it there, but he does get it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, losing almost a minute to Sadly on that mission alone.
Yeah. I mean, as we said, Sadly's version of that was exceptionally good, so Maybe to be expected, a bit of time loss though. Sadly, is getting the clueless coins, but electing to miss the vending machine. This is something that is still in a lot of people's runs, but I think the community is maybe starting to shift away from it. Depends on who you ask. There's that room full of boxes and vending machines that you can grab.
He dropped frames, but slendbed does get this cutscene skip, so he saves pretty much all of the time he lost in the mission itself.
Yeah, that was really good. You're right. I didn't catch that because of the drop frames, but yeah, he does get that. Which sadly didn't, and he is going to catch up, as you say, about that minute or so that he lost in the last split.
And now, sadly's on to probably my least favourite mission in this entire game.
Yes. Let's see how he lines the... Oh, beautifully done. No issues whatsoever. Just lining that Cletus truck up, stick him in the corner, and 15 drops are effectively free. But sadly making it look easy. It is not that easy.
I can attest, this is really difficult.
Yeah. Particularly difficult if there's traffic cars that get in your way. You sadly did have some to contend with there, but yeah, no, that was beautiful. Nicely done. It'll be interesting to see how slendbed goes with his coin route in the next split. Slendbed is still, unfortunately, a couple of splits behind, even with sadly missing that cutscene skip. Just I suppose to attest to the strength of Sadly's run so far. Sadly getting in the fish fan. Good choice.
Springfield.
Okay. A few more free coins here. A wasp in a box. Sadly, it's come up with another destructible mission. So for all of the cards here, as with the previously mentioned destructible mission, the walls are your friend. And he's been looking to clip them into things to get maximum damage. Yeah, real solid hit there.
And a strat that provides some small optimizations and really helps in a mission like this is that whilst stationary, if you hold the, I think either the handbrake or the brake works, but hold either of those whilst holding the accelerator, and then let go of the button that isn't the accelerator, and you'll get a big burst as you set off, and that really helps with getting the final hit of a car, and he has 1 HP, particularly in a slow car like the school bus.
Yeah, that's a really good point actually, because there's another thing that maybe we haven't had time to mention so far, but yeah, holding the e-brake, or yeah, as you say, I think maybe any brake, and then just releasing there will give you that awesome speed boost. Sadly there, did miss the quickest version of that, which is where you catch the car before he goes driving anywhere. But he does pick it up pretty damn fast regardless. Now this last car can be trouble. Sadly showing it though to be super easy.
That's really, really good.
Yeah. That final car was immensely fast. So another really good split from Sadly. Slendbed there did grab the coins in the room. Both runners going for a very similar strat there. Slendbed couldn't a little bit fine on time, but he should make it. I think he had maybe a second.
He probably did cut that very fine.
Yeah. Always a bit of squeaky bum time during, especially a tournament run. Just be careful for splits like. But Slendbed getting through. Have a skin of his teeth. Sadly here on a bit of a bane of speedrunner's existence in this game due to the third drop, which can save or lose time just fairly randomly. There's not really anything you can do to influence when Snake decides to give you a drop here. Yeah, sadly a pretty good drop though before the bridge. And Slendbed also lining the Cletus truck up really well. So both runners making that look easy. And putting me to shame. Which is good stuff.
This is, I believe, interesting enough, the only mission in the game where you can't get hit and run.
Vous pouvez m'emmener.
Oh really? I was
Because you're driving the...
Le chef
Because you're helping Wiggum, so
vise à
the
Simpsons
police
au
can't...
rapport.
Well, the game
J'ai besoin de vitesse.
puts you in a position where the police can't arrest Wiggum.
You know what? That does actually make perfect sense. I never really thought about that. Well, Sally does just miss the fish there. And lines it
And
up
that's
a
just
bit
always
weird.
spawns him facing the wrong way.
Yeah.
Maintenant, vous ne serez plus jamais frit ni
Nothing
servi avec de la sauce
catastrophic.
tartare. La prochaine fois, fais
And then I
attention
suppose
aux
another thing to mention while Slendbed's on the way down to pick up his school bus. If you're absolutely fresh to the Simpsons Hit and Run speedrun community, welcome by the way. But there are certain costumes and vehicles that we have to buy throughout the run, which is the whole purpose of the coin route in the first place. And the school bus is one of those items, and is the Lisa Cool costume. So it's another thing that the runners will be forced to buy, will be thinking about as they chug through their runs. Sadly, I believe honking his horn to the tunes here.
Savourez votre liberté, mes amis au sang-froid.
I was really close then to doing it. Ooh! Sadly, did just fall short of that final fish.
Et voilà, ce pseudo-capitaine à cap va me dire ce qu'il sait.
Which means, yeah, he now has to take a couple of extra seconds to get the school bus needed for the final mission, which is another destruction mission.
Yeah, really unlucky. Just one of the posts got in the way, I believe, and the car just vaulted over it. And yeah, sadly moving on to the final split of Lisa here. Thank goodness, because Lisa is one of my least favourite missions. Down with Lisa. And Slendbed also getting good damage, but missing the fastest version of a second car destructible there.
Regarde où tu vas.
I suppose it's worth mentioning here, as you can see, sadly lining the limo up. AI in this game is not really very hyper intelligent, and what it will do is if you get it trapped between two solid walls like that, it will destroy itself in no time at all. For sadly, that was really fast.
Oh bon. J'ai envie de vitesse.
And I believe,
Vitesse en
yeah,
voiture.
Slendbed doing actually very similar as a backup to missing.
Oh no! Slendbed
Yeah.
goes for gets hit and run, goes to finish off the car, and actually allows the car to escape.
Yeah, some oddities going on here.
But
Slendbed
now
gotta be
blows
careful.
it up.
He did dodge the bust though, which is very significant. A bust will take 50 coins away from you, and both runners are going to be acting on very tight coin routes, so 50 coins is certainly a significant loss.
Marge Simpson, à votre service. Je vais où après?
Oh goodness, March sounds atrocious in French.
J'espère que ça n'a pas.
I just realised.
It gets a whole lot worse, and by a whole lot worse, I mean a whole lot better.
I wasn't expecting this. Note to self, don't commentate any future runs with French game. And let's see how Sandy goes here with a donut truck. Another surprisingly tricky split. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the fastest version of it. So he is desperately trying. Oh, hold on. I may never speak again. He gets that beautifully, yeah. I doubted him, but proves me wrong. So lines it up in the corner, again, as with most collection missions. Get them trapped somewhere, pick up what you need, get out of there, super fast.
C'est l'heure de faire marcher.
And I believe Slendbed at the same time had a really good drop from his Wiggum. Also didn't have to cross the bridge. Doesn't want to drop that last one for Sadly, looks like it. There we go.
C'est pas sérieux? Excusez. Je ferai
Sadly having a bit of a moment. Did his like controller die or something?
Yeah, interesting. Bit of a wobble, but we seem to be back on track now. I was just reading chat, and trying to answer some questions here. I wonder, does playing in another language with shout actually save you any time versus the English version? No, I don't believe it does. Seasonally, you may be able to confirm that.
je venais de la faire.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it doesn't
for
save
the
any
most
time.
part, any game where language affects the speed of or the actual speed run would be if there are text boxes you have to mash through, such
Yeah.
as most PS1 era RPGs, that kind of thing, or like most non-voice acted RPGs. So in a game where those don't exist and all the language does is change the voice lines and text that can't be mashed, it doesn't actually save any time, and it's purely, some people change the language purely for memes, such as what Sadly's done.
To be fair, for memes is a perfectly acceptable reason. Sadly, his van did get sort of stuck on. You do get this with the AI where you can influence it, depending on your distance to them and the direction your camera's looking as well. But AI can sort of get stuck occasionally and lose you a few seconds. Slendbed here, moving on to his final split of Lisa. Marge again, sounding like she's been dragged through a bush backwards or something. An interesting one. And sadly, having a good split here, managing to grab a bunch of vending machines and boxes, which ordinarily may try and splice in later on, but having loads of time here. Just to grab them that's nice and early. Unfortunately on Slendbed's stream, the limo has escaped. Did not get it lined up like Sadly did. Which is unfortunate. We'll see how long it takes him to finish it. It looks like he's going a long way though, unfortunately. Further he goes, the further the drive is back.
Faut m'aider.
Ooh. Slendbed not having a super awesome split here. Took a while to get him, and he's got hit and run here. Gotta be careful.
On a besoin de paquets de ketchup pour nourrir des gens pendant l'hiver. Aidez-moi à les apporter. Il y a une autre décharge dans le coin. Je le sens avec mon os odorant.
I'm thinking maybe French Cletus is just never quiet.
Oh, j'ai 5 chiens enragés là-dedans.
French Cletus. This might just be me, but French Cletus sounds like it's being voiced by an Italian dude.
Yeah, I can sort of hear
It sounds
that.
distinctly French, but with an Italian accent, rather than
That is
the English
gorgeous.
Cletus, just a redneck.
Fantastic. Slendbed here, finishing off his Lisa as well. We'll move on to Marge. Boo, both in Marge.
C'était mieux que la boîte à film.
C'est pas très gentil.
Ooh, sadly getting the wasp then. Very nice, very clean.
La bourse d'études de la petite Sally Mae.
Oh non.
Fais gaffe, mon gars.
through the Wheel of Fortune, or the Wheel of Misfortune, as I incorrectly called it. Or I believe the complete name is the Gamden Wheel of Fortune. This is before my time, but I'm under the impression that he failed to go through it on several occasions during a tournament run. Was christening it.
That might have been me. That's probably happened to a lot of us this tournament. But in this tournament, I had that screw me over so many times.
Another thing Sadly's doing here, which is relatively fresh.
He's kicking.
He stops for a quick kick. Yep, so he grabs a Malibu Stacy car. Again, like I say, a relatively new addition to this.
This is a strat that is a reworking that saves time in the next two missions at the cost of obviously wasting the time to run up and get it. But this is just like an extended variant of something I used to do like 2 years ago. Because in my old coin route, I used to go and get the coins on top of the roof during wolves, and as a result, after running from there down, I'd get the Malibu Stacy in the phone booth there, and I used to do it that way. I don't do it anymore, and I probably should now put it back in with the running to the phone booth. But it's something I used to do for the longest time, and I got a lot of flack for it, particularly from Scyther. He was convinced it was slower, and it turns out I was kind of right.
Kind of right. You've been kind of vindicated on that one. Yep, just like you say, relatively new addition. Be interesting to see if slendbed does as Sadly has, or sticks with the Canyonero. I know in my current runs I'm still sticking with the good old Canyonero, but Malibu Stacy is definitely quicker.
And one of the small reasons I actually really like using the Malibu Stacy is that in English, I mean, her French lines are probably really great too, but obviously we can't understand them. But her English lines for when she's an NPC driver are hilarious.
Oh, an interesting thing to mention regarding the mission that Sally is now on. Wolves stole, well, we'll call it by the name which my chat knows it as. Wolves stole my runs. There's a couple of things that can happen here. Yeah. As you can probably tell, it happens more than it should.
Especially to Mango.
Yes.
As he can attest, he's in the chat right now, he can attest how bad it is for him.
So basically, again, if you're not familiar, what can happen, there's two things that can happen. Number one, you can get two cycled, where it will just sort of not give you the last drop, and the car will do the whole round again until it gets right back to the end and finally give you that last drop, which can add on, oh god, a couple of minutes, which is obviously horrific during a
about
tournament.
2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, and the second is the fail glitch, where even though you have a green distance bar still showing, the game just goes, I think you're too far away. Let's fail you anyway. So you have to make sure that you're keeping close enough where that won't become a possibility. Hence, Wolf stole my runs. Can happen.
So, as a more detailed explanation as to how this game operates, when you follow a car and it drops items as you follow it, it drops it in a certain waypoint. So it has essentially like a zone, and it will only ever drop it within that zone. Sometimes cars just either glitch or they screw it up, or for some reason they don't drop one within one of their specified zones, and as a result it has to do the entire cycle, the entire loop of where it just went again to get back to the final position and drop it. rather than just drop it a little bit later on. It's just one of the quirks of the way this game is programmed.
Yeah, I don't know, as us runners know, it's pretty freaking infuriating as well when it does happen. So let's cross our fingers for slendbed when he gets there. And yes, we are on the final unskippable cutscene for Sunday.
So I'm gonna just let Marge have her line.
Yes. In French.
C'est ça, c'était sur une bouteille de cola. Ça va peut-être rafraîchir la mémoire de Bart.
Oh dear.
Je me suis entraîné sur le skate de Bart.
She sounds like me on a Monday morning, and I still hate her. So, sadly, main menu warping there again. And oh, just took a few seconds to get going there.
It seems as if he has a route, but he's having to kind of remember the minute details of it as he goes along.
Yeah, I wonder if that's due to the relatively fresh changes like Malibu Stacy, etc. Slendbed is also going to take on board the Malibu Stacy change. I really need to get on board with this. I feel like everyone else is doing it. It's like a club. Oh, a triple. I heard your intake of breath there, Season. Was that because of the...
I thought it was a quad.
I heard the... It was beautiful.
I saw that the two wasps got destroyed and got really excited.
Again, that actually isn't easy to do. It's a very precise area, especially for the quads, which it was close. But yeah, and it just looks cool. It just looks really cool. Saves a couple of seconds in the process. And another thing to mention is this mission that Sally is currently on is the only super intensive platforming mission in the whole game.
Well, okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. Super intensive, yes.
But there's a few more which also require a lot of platforming, but I believe, I think someone said this, I was commentating with a few streams ago, it's actually the only one where it's all platforming. No car required, unless you choose to pick one up at any point. There isn't any...
Yeah, the only thing is picking up a car in this mission is really stupid. It's the most pointless thing you could do. Since it loses a whole bunch more time than it would ever be worth.
Slendbed here moving on to his own Wolves Stole My Runs, though we hope it won't steal this one. Let's see how his drops are. Sadly, watching all...
Sadly is just giving us the joy of French voice lines.
Attention, Madame Simpson, chocolat incite les gens à faire des choses irrationnelles sans se sentir coupables.
I hear a lot of the chocolate.
Les effets d'une beuverie d'étudiants.
C'est bon, je le poursuis. Comme tous les autres camions de cola que je trouverai.
Yep, sadly saying in chat, if I lose for this, it's worth it. This is the last opportunity to enjoy her. I use the word enjoy loosely, sadly. Marge sounds like just like death, honestly.
Slendbed avoiding the unwarranted two-cycle.
Yeah, that's good. So both runners of this race have avoided that unfortunate happenings which can occur. Sadly, didn't get the fastest version of the first truck yet, but managed to line them up against the green where we got a pretty fast backup. So let's see how Sadly's second cola truck goes. Plenty of areas for him to line this up. Hopefully get a good shunt. Maybe not the best shunt, but he will get him trapped around the edge.
Yeah, now that kind of truck's at 1 HP, it will kill itself, and it allows, sadly, just a few seconds to make his way towards the next, where the third truck spawns.
Yep. I think he went for the wasp there, but Carl just was a little too energetic.
Plus, he already has his 2.
Oh, of course, yeah, he did already have his 2, so he was not actually going to be able to get that wasp regardless. Good point. Slendbed here watching his own crop circles cutscene.
And his is in English, although unfortunately we don't get to hear it.
Sadly, yeah. To be fair, he did miss the fastest strat, which ideally he would have wanted him pegged against that tree. But it looks like... ooh... He got 3 coins from that, which is something. Another thing worth mentioning is, yeah, if you destroy traffic cars, you do get 3 coins. Which is often
unfortunately,
more
destroying traffic cars gets you a few coins, but it increases your hit and run by a lot.
Exactly. Sadly, proving that.
Exactly, something sadly is currently proving. Hopefully this might happen. Hopefully it doesn't. But an interesting quirk that I experienced in my last race is that, as you said, if you get busted by the police, you lose 50 coins. But in this particular mission, if you get run over by Wiggum specifically, the busted text appears, but you don't actually lose the coins. But you do get run over, roll around on the floor, and lose a bunch of time.
Oh. Yeah, it's an interesting quirk. I haven't really noticed that. Let's see how...
I knew it existed, and it had happened to me once before, but in my last race it happened to me twice in a row. Wiggum ran me over, I was wobbling around on the floor, got up, and Wiggum hit me again.
I mean, so did you lose the coins or no in the end?
No, I didn't end up losing coins because I didn't have hit and run.
Oh.
So the screen, the busted message comes up, but you don't lose coins. You just lose a bunch of time. Although, it's good. It's a good meme. It's hilarious. So I was happy with it.
Yeah, not losing coins. That's good. Sadly, would have liked.
If you're in a position that myself or sadly are in, where either you fully expect to win or you fully expect to lose, you're happy to waste a few seconds to provide some quality memes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, memes are always worth it. Okay. So Slendstream keeps pausing for me, but he is currently on his collecting of 30 Buzzcolor cans. Because what else are you going to collect? And sadly moving on to his first level in a poo. Now a poo, again, for those of you who maybe have not seen too much Simpsons Hit and Run, is an extremely difficult set of missions for the purpose of this speedrun. Oh, he shoots past the crate there. That could cause some problems later on. As you mentioned much earlier on in this race, the game does get progressively harder, as do most games. So if you crash twice against following this truck, you're basically going to lose and have to redo the whole...
Yeah, especially if you crash twice in a row. If you crash once, catch up, and then crash again, you should be fine. But 2 immediate crashes, one after the other, is pretty much a done deal.
Yeah. It's always very scary. Slendbed struggling a little bit here. I can see his colour truck was just stuck against that traffic car, but he's got good damage, to be fair. So hopefully he'll be able to nab that one and move on to the next one pretty quick. Just trying to finish him off. Alright, he's looking good. Good stuff. And yes, it is worth saying, as believe his name is Dat. Also, is just reminded me in chat. You can get 2 cycles on this as well.
I've only ever seen people talk about it. I've never actually seen it happen live.
I've had it once a long time ago, and it is much rarer than the first one. Yeah, it does miss.
Sadly's cutting this a touch too fine.
Yeah. Let's see how. Oh, he gets caught in the corner there.
He just failed.
Ooh, that's gonna sting a little bit. So yeah, as you say, I like how you said that, Season. You were very calming. He just failed. It's me going
because I'm just used to myself failing things, and I don't get salty when that happens because I know I'm just bad at the game, so I'm used to it.
But yeah, as you said, he did fail, and so unfortunately, you're gonna have to do the whole split again. Slendbed just had an interesting truck there. It flew for a moment. Looks a bit Harry Potter-esque, but it did destroy itself in the end, which is good. Just gonna collect that wasp. So failing that is actually again. Maybe giving Slendbed the opportunity to close the gap, and at least bring it close when it was previously.
If he can get a good third truck, which it doesn't look like he is at the moment.
Yeah.
He didn't get the ideal strat. It's got him stuck against the opposite end of the barn, and does actually get it quite well in the end.
Yeah, that was really good, actually. Saved that well. So he too will move on to a poo shortly.
If anyone can, I would recommend watching his stream. Watching this in conjunction with his own stream, since that is not currently experiencing any of the technical difficulties that is prevalent on the race on this stream right now. I've had that a couple of times as well. The connection to the way they put these two on the screen for the race can be a little bit temperamental for some people. So if you want to watch his run without any of the frame drops, then you can watch his actual stream, which I'm currently doing. That's how I'm a couple of seconds ahead of you.
That's actually a really good point. I will join you. I will join you. That is a really good idea. Cypher just saying in chat that Slend is apparently over a minute ahead of his PB. So it's important not to forget that both these runners obviously have different PB times. And Slendbed, compared to his PB, he must be having an astonishing run, which is good to hear.
Yeah, because sadly his PB is about 15 minutes better than Slend's. Yeah.
So really, comparatively, Slendbed putting in a top performance here. Slow it up.
Merci, revenez nous voir. Oh, non. Les frais, c'est dur. J'ai bien peur. Donnez-moi une minute pour reprendre mon souffle. Oh, j'ai fracassé mon crâne. Je vais dormir davantage. Monsieur Homer.
Okay. Okay, finally I have his stream loaded so I can see what's going on. I did think some of your comments were slightly before mine. Now I know why. It's all making sense. But yeah, so we can hopefully see slimy stuff as it happens. Sadly here onto Baby Van, which is just a whole bunch of guff and RNG.
Yeah, this mission kind of just doesn't really ever do what you want it to do. Since with the sadly is
This run is not valid. Sadly, can have my babies. Anyway, on a slightly less weird note, this game ranks its AI driving from 1 to 10. Baby Van's AI is ranked at -10, so it just does what it wants.
Yeah, and it has distinctly different patterns as well. But you can get like the good Baby Van, where he sort of, I suppose the good Baby Van is where he drives less intelligently. If he drives too well, he's sort of scuppered because it's more difficult to grab those babies.
It's completely inverted. If the Baby Van drives well, it's a bad Baby Van. But if he drives like an idiot, then there's a lot of potential for it.
So with slendbed just missed a box there on the staircase, which you would have liked to have grabbed, and hopefully be able to put it up in the future. I believe they're trying to fix the lag. Also,
this is probably how they have to do it. They're going to try and essentially reload what I would imagine to try and remove the difficulties that Slendstream is experiencing right now.
Yep, hopefully it worked. It is looking quite smooth. Fingers crossed. Let's hope slendbed doesn't. Okay, it's always a bit scary when you come around that corner. He hasn't dropped yet. Doesn't get the infamous 2-cycle there. Good to see that slendbed stream though looks a lot better now. Traffic not being Sudley's friend though. Or slendbeds either. Traffic, as most traffic in most sorts of games is very RNG. And it can just steal those seconds and appear where you don't want it to. Another little quirk, which I don't think we've touched on, is traffic despawning, but I've already seen both of these runners doing it too.
Yeah, we definitely haven't talked about that.
So what you can do is if you shift your camera in the opposite direction and shift it back, Sally just demonstrating it there actually, traffic in front of you can despawn, which is obviously great for controlling how fast an AI moves through traffic or determining just what traffic appears in front of you, really.
Yeah, this game's memory isn't that fantastic. So if it's not, if you have traffic in front of you, if you move it out of camera shot, the game essentially forgets that it's there, and therefore can either move it or remove it entirely, which sometimes has issues. If I'm getting distracted. If you move the camera back and forward, you can have a car spawn directly in front of you, and you can do nothing about it other than just crash.
Yes, it doesn't always help. I was just I was watching Sudley's stream, and the van got sort of trapped between a traffic car and the wall, and it took a few seconds to recover that. The reason that's an issue is because
Slend gets the baby van stuck against the tree.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. It's exactly what he wants. Collect those last few drops. But yeah, so for the split that Sudley's on, you're given all the time. Also, it is Sudley's game where he's doing the horn repeatedly.
And Slendben shows us the inside of Dr. Hibbert's face.
Sounds like an episode of Game Theory. Yeah, and you're given all the time for Sudley's split at the start. So it's in runner's best interest to get that garbage van moving as fast as possible, and you generally try to do that by influencing its driving, by pushing it or just nudging it, so hopefully it gets caught on less things, just to save those precious few seconds. Sadly making sure he's up on coins here, not taking any chances. It's another thing to note that I believe that both runners only have two, unless I'm forgetting one and being a bit of a muppet, only have two cars they need to buy for the rest of the game. That is the Globex in Bart 2 and the zombie car in Homer 2. So they're going to be looking for 1,100 coins across the next three missions, levels, things. And that's going to dictate how their coin route looks from here on out. Sadly, not quite parking the car as he'd want to.
Oh, mon courage légendaire me fait ralentir. Bouge, Blombec. Oh, je n'ai jamais vu une telle disgrâce.
That's getting that wasp there. That's quite nice. You have a couple of chances to get that whilst following Wiggum, but if you don't, you can always get it here.
Yeah. That is Noiseru. And we're back to listening to the horn.
Ça ouvre beaucoup de secrets. Je dois me dépêcher ou les poches de mon mariage arrangé me punira.
And sadly, also picking up the Ganesh card. There is no actual value to that in the all-story missions run, but you've got to pick some of the cards up. But we'll hopefully be looking to pick Bought Up in Bart 2 as well. Another classic. Slend here. Again, entering the mission. Go ahead.
Bought, aka the ultimate measure of validity.
Yeah, I believe there's a non-official rule somewhere where if you don't pick it up during a run, it's not official. And you gotta do it again. Sadly here, moving on to one of the better known missions with regards to this speedrun. Better known as Armored Truck. He's going to be looking to get the truck lined up under a set of solid stairs and get it to destroy itself. Because we are in a fairly weak vehicle and they're in a fairly strong, well, armored truck. And the maths just ain't in your favour. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, sadly. Dealing with that police car, no problems at all. Getting its AI confused. Let's see how the armored truck goes.
Sadly, is good.
Yeah, that was nice. Lined him up, reset his car so it'd be no fishy business. And it looks like he's in there. Doesn't look like he's destroying himself with much speed though. Oh, hold on, maybe wrong.
Sadly, having so much trouble with this wasp, he has to get out, get in, and get back out of Snake's car to avoid running out of time.
Wasp is not having it. Okay, gets it in the end. Yep, so Armored Truck is stuck. It is taking maybe slightly longer than he would have liked. But when they get stuck, they can sort of destroy themselves at different speeds, depending on the angle and whatnot. But he will get there in the end. Saves runners the time.
Yeah, the thing you have to worry about, especially if you're new to the strat, is to not drive too far away.
Yes.
Where Sadly is right now, that's about as far away as you can go, otherwise it just stops.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Okay. I thought maybe he'd gone a little too far there. But I'll hold my bated breath because it was perfect. Destroys itself. He's moving on to the final part of the mission. Slendbed here, I haven't really spoke about his stream for a little while. He's doing well. Looking to pick up the final trash cans here.
Yeah, in a bubble, Slendbed's actually doing really well.
Yeah, as we sort of previously mentioned, against his own PB, I believe he's over a minute up.
He's over 2 minutes ahead right
2
now.
minutes. Good stuff. So he's having a cracking run.
Je suis le meilleur conducteur de toute la terre.
And not honestly too far behind, sadly, now.
It sadly misses this cutscene skip. Slendbed's
Yeah, we...
pretty much almost right back in this.
So with regards
I
to the
wonder-
race...
I actually wonder if sadly might quote unquote accidentally miss this cutscene skip because it's really funny.
For the sake of playing it in French.
Yep.
So let's see what he decides to do here. We're not quite there yet. Oh, he does go for the box. I think he got it. Yeah, okay. So coming off the back of Armored Truck, we go straight into Curator. Again, not an easy split either. Got to line the car up perfectly and get some good damage.
This is another destruction mission. And you're in a car. Unfortunately, this car you're trying to destroy is a lot faster. So you have to be a lot more precise with where you are and where it is in relation to you.
He was exceptionally close, but it did sneak past the area he would have wanted to get it destroyed. So he's now going to have to follow it all the way up this tunnel. Hopefully they'll finish. Yep.
The destruction was pretty quick, and upon destroying her car, you find the key to the museum that was hidden within.
Seems excessively violent for a Simpsons game. But yeah, plot again. There's some in there somewhere. Now sadly he's going to want to spam. Oh no, I think he doesn't look like he went for it.
Yeah, this definitely at this point looks like he's just memeing on us.
So let's slendbed going for his armored truck here.
Doesn't get it. No.
No. I'm trying to think if there's any weird zany backup we could get here. Maybe, perhaps if it gets stuck against the... No. Okay. Unfortunately, he did not get the armored truck stuck. There's still a lot of areas where you can get a lot of damage on it. Gotta be careful, because as I said, armored truck strong, red car weak. He sort of phased inside it there a little bit. But as sadly, as you say, has chosen to give us a full-on meme run here and show us scenes, there is a chance that slendbed could catch up if he goes for it.
Oh, apparently, sadly, isn't deliberately trying to meme.
Oh! Well, that puts a whole...
In which case, at this point, I have to ask, why not? You put it in French and then didn't give us the most memey cutscene of the bunch.
Now, in English, we would hear the alien say, I like it. But in French, we're going to hear something.
You're going to hear the French alien say, I love, I love.
I love, I love. That's sweet. I love you too, alien. Slendbed's armor truck doing good damage on there.
Tout le monde va devenir fou. J'adore. Après, on distribue des armes laser dans la zone touristique de Sweetport. J'adore. Les humains fous de cola seront décédés. J'adore. Et détruiront leur ville et eux-mêmes. Livraison des gros taux d'audience pour stupides terriens.
J'adore. Sounds like the voice actor was having a lot of fun with that line. J'adore. Oh. I like it.
So for those of you who don't speak French, Kat and Kodos have just revealed that their master plan is to give the cola to the Springfield citizens in order to increase ratings on their television show Foolish Earthlings, which is currently down in all key demos.
I'm so glad you know what's going on. As I said from the start, all I know is splits go fast. As you've been saying, there is like a story here somewhere. And now we're running over. Sorry, not running over. Collecting 15 school children. Oh, thank goodness. He went for it. He got the board. Everything is as it should be.
juste, mec. Tu regardes la route ou non?
Slendbed destroying the curator nearly in an identical place to Selby.
Getting hit and run. Oh no. Oh no, he doesn't have hit and run. Sadly, he has hit and run. I'm getting confused. But he gets the cutscene skip, which is super good.
Yep, my one's just a little bit behind, but yep, Slendbed does hit that cutscene skip, which sadly missed. So again, he's going to be closing it back up.
Yeah, the with that cutscene is very different to the other two because the other two cutscenes you can buffer them. With the Apu cutscene, you just have to mash and wait for it and wait for the menu to come up. Then you can load the next mission. You can't buffer that one in.
Yeah. So slightly different, as you say, but Slendbed does hit it. So we're only split behind now from Slendbed, which is incredibly good stuff. I'm not sure how he's currently looking against his PB, but we're still over 2 minutes up. But he's looking to have a good run.
Oh, sadly actually fails that mission there.
Ooh. That is interesting. Slendbed being gifted a few opportunities to catch up here. But now Slendbed is not far behind at all. I haven't been keeping too close an eye on Slendbed's coins. It'd be interesting to see if he's got enough for Globex. I'm assuming he has.
No, not at the moment. If he gets the vending machine just next to
the Krusty
if he gets that one, yeah, he will
Yeah.
have enough after that. So I didn't see, did Sadly get a kiss of death? Or a mini kiss of death?
I think he got a mini kiss to death. Which can be a bit scary. They should be. All the traffic is just. He's got his good chunk of damage on his car. Traffic is not helping him here.
So, for those who don't know what the kiss of death is, there's a clown car that you have to race. You have to race it to the Squidport to talk to Krusty to continue the story. And upon entering a hitbox, the clown car changes from just an object in the scenery to an actual car. Now, upon doing this, it actually bumps up a little bit. In certain situations, that it acts as a proxy, shooting your car in a completely random direction into a wall and leaving it with pretty much 1 HP.
Yeah, it's extremely touch and go when that happens, because once you've taken that much damage, any hit, you are out. Slendbed's taking it very cautiously there. Maybe he was also worried about getting some kind of kiss of death. Just take a fair amount of damage there from the tree.
And yeah, in my previous race, I had a kiss of death so hilarious, the clown car ended up being shot miles away. I took a tiny bit of damage. The clown car was shot miles and miles away, basically into a different dimension.
Into a different dimension. I believe I've seen that. Someone sent me a clip, and yes, it's pretty impressive. You'll never drive the same again.
So on Sadly's stream, we have we are now following Frink because we needed to. Krusty told us we needed to follow a smart person.
Sadly, choosing to get out of his car there, kick the annoying teenager, get back in his car. I commend that. I commend that. Not a lot else you can do in this split. There's a lot of waiting and following and waiting for Frank to get around. So, slendbed also on the same split. So again, they are both on the same split.
Professeur, mon nom est Simpson.
So really, not a lot of difference at all, especially when you consider the time difference between the two.
C'est trop cool pour l'école.
So sadly here, coming on to another relatively tricky split. He's going to be wanting to collect 6 cola boxes deliveries from the cola truck, which sounds easy, but as you get further and further into the game, these characters gain a lot of speed.
And it is the fastest dump truck you will ever see in your life.
Yep. Sadly, wow, does that very well.
He gets a few, then gets a couple more. Hopefully, is there one that's no? There's one that he didn't pick up. It did despawn. He now has to catch up the duff truck, which is going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, so he picked a couple up from the ideal location, but he did escape that, and then he picked another couple up from the backup location, but he did escape that. So this means he's got to drive around a bit more. To collect these last 2, as you said, the first one did despawn. The duff truck doing some zany things here, getting stuck. Pretending to be a destructible car, this will be great, but unfortunately, it is not. Push it out of the way. On the plus side, does give Sally an opportunity to grab some boxes that he may not have otherwise.
Attention, je me fais facilement des bleus. Si je montre cette arme laser à Krusty, il me croira fort.
I am 99% sure my stream is lagging behind. If I can fix that.
No problemo.
Sadly, now trying to destroy Skinner's sedan to try and get back the laser gun he just picked up.
Yeah. Meanwhile, slendbed having a really good cola truck. Didn't get the intended area, but the backup was beautiful. 6 picked up very fast, and he'll be returning with haste to the Duff Brewery. So definitely picking up time from Sally there. He is definitely closing the gap. Actually, this is looking promising. And a very good race.
This is a true race now.
Yeah. I'm impressed. Sadly's car did escape as well, so it'll be interesting to see if slendbed manages to keep him in there. It'll be another great opportunity to gain time on Sadly. Yes, that is true, Cypher. Sadly's Lola's timer went and got busted, I believe. Good first hit from slendbed here.
Oh, that traffic car getting in the way.
Oh, just stealing the opportunity to maybe get ahead there. But again, still not a million miles behind. So both runners putting in a jolly good show here. Again, if you miss Skinner's intended trapped area, the wolves are your friend. They will get the most damage. Just Sadly, here got a hit and run. Very, very easy split to get hit and run on due to the quantity of people that have to be milling around the squid port. Knocking them over and getting hit and run is super easy to do. Sadly, just getting out of there.
Oh, how did he not get busted there?
That was, yeah, that was close. Sadly getting lucky not to lose 50 coins there, which is so. We're thankful that he didn't lose those. And sadly leaving the last drop to pick up until the end because even though these guys are speedrunners and have played this game probably a bazillion times over, it is tricky, and especially as you get to these later splits. If you've watched this and you've played this casually, this may actually be a point that you just stop playing and put the game down because it gets pretty tricky. So the runners both giving themselves a maximum amount of time by leaving the final drop for the end of the green way on the way back. And I imagine Slendbed will do something very similar. He comes up to it. Yeah, sadly, grabbing the coins. They're both looking at this point, as Globex was the second to final purchase. The final purchase being the zombie car at the start of Homer 2, which is going to cost 500 coins. So 500 is a magic number at this point, with no busts. Sadly, did just miss the vending machine, which I presume he would have wanted. And he's probably going to have to pick a few more coins up in Homer 2 than maybe he'd like to. And also sadly racing the reverse way around the map because it's far easier.
Yeah, it may not be technically the most the fastest way, but it's by far more consistent and safer.
Yeah. Slendbed gonna get his coins here. It'd be interesting to see what his coins are looking like. Maybe a little bit healthier than Studley's, actually. He might have less to pick up. So sadly here come up to the final cutscene skip opportunity. Will he get this?
Sadly, actually gets a cutscene skip. What is this?
Hey! Buffers that several times though, but yeah, as you say, he gets that final cutscene skip. Hopefully Slendbed matches will be in for a very close finish to this race. Yep, Slendbed grabbing that vending machine, which sadly missed. And picking up the card just for star points.
Yeah, casual. Picking up that card really isn't in your best interest. A lot of the time you'll just crash into the wall and everything goes to pot.
So he was particularly skillful, babe. Not only did he pick up the card, he didn't lose any time either.
Yeah, not really.
So eyes here on Sadly's coins. Again, 500 is the magic number. Also avert your eyes over to Slendbed to see if he gets his final cutscene skip.
And he does. This is really, really good.
Yeah, this is nice. Slendbed is not far behind at all.
And then with these two boxes, sadly now has enough to buy the final vehicle we need.
Yep, 500 dead on. He really did the math, sir. 500 dead on is all we need. No more, no less. And that is it for the coin route for Sadly. Coins are now irrelevant to him. Nothing else to buy. Slendbed Still short of his 500. Just pick up a vending machine there.
He will have the opportunity to pick up a load more, so he'll be in no he'll be in a position where he's not having to scurry around.
Yeah, this is true.
For coins that are super out of the way.
So the end of this run could come down to the final 3 autotopsies, which would be really interesting. The most difficult missions of the game. Do not drop the waste. Yep, slendbed doing exactly the same. Only needed to pick up one boxer, and he is in the clear. Have you got eyes on how fast slendbed is on his PB?
He is currently minus. It's 2.5 minutes ahead right now.
Good stuff. So he is having as we said previously, but he's having a stonkingly good run. Sadly, actually proving here, destroying the zombie car, which may look counterproductive, but it's actually faster to do that.
Because it pushes you out of the car.
Yeah. So doing that with style and actually saving some seconds in the process. Maybe not a lot, but it is worth doing. And now this is sort of autotopsy 0.0, if you want to call it that, the first of the 4 waste destruction missions, which can kill many a run. So we will see how both runners cope with this, and if Sadly were to drop a waste at an unfortunate moment, it could definitely swing it back in slendbed's favour. Sadly, playing it safe there, decided not to go up the fire truck ramp and actually resetting his vehicle, maybe for the sake of not risking the destruction of the waste. Straight into the beam for Sadly. But I'm definitely intrigued to see how this one finishes.
C'est l'heure de se cracher.
And if nothing else, the French version of the game has been a real education for me.
Oh oh, c'est encore cette voiture noire. Ouh, elle est aussi rapide qu'un petit boss qui aurait la ténacité d'un grand boss. Remue-toi.
Oh, Cypher actually just corrected me there. The fastest way of getting out of that zombie car is parking with your door already open, in which it can only be that way if your car is damaged. I bow to your correction, Cypher. It wasn't the fastest, but it was certainly faster than getting out ordinarily.
And it's a lot better. It makes for a much better visual.
Yeah, it's just cool to watch. Sadly here entering portion of the run I affectionately call, and my viewers call, girder climb, because I am just a little bit useless at this. First section isn't too bad, because you've got the glass panes to stop you from falling through, but this section used to give me far more trouble than it ever should, but sadly just showing how it should be done. No hesitation at all. Straight up there. The floor panels do collapse, but both runners will probably have it memorized, or at least have a general feel as to where they are.
And now back to one of my favourite songs in this game.
So we're really drawing up on the end game.
Yeah, I feel like this game soundtrack doesn't get talked about enough. It's really good.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. Or maybe gorgeous is a step overstatement. Nah, we'll go with gorgeous. That works. I know that some of my viewers are always debating whether a Pooh's music or Monkey See, Monkey Do music is the best. But to be fair, it's all pretty up there. Sadly, currently demonstrating another great track, as you've said. Now, we're sadly getting close to hit and run. A bust isn't so bad, apart from, obviously, you lose a few seconds. Obviously, coin-wise, it's no longer a problem for either runner. But a heavy hit can destroy the waist. That was a slightly heavy hit there against the hearse, but he didn't drop the waist. Dropping the waist here.
So these, in level 7, the police cars are actually hearses, which happen to both be very fast and very strong.
Yeah.
So they can
yeah,
hit
kind
you
of terrifying.
quickly, they can hit you very hard, and it does it blows up the waist.
Douce accélération. Oh non. Hey, on est pas
Slend here
supposé
also
faire
tackling
ça.
his own girder climb. I'm sure he will do this far better than I ever see him to.
Je vais te régler ton compte.
Ma vengeance sera terrible.
Cette ville va me le payer.
That was too close.
Côté,
Yeah.
ça chauffa. C'est trop cool, mec.
Ça, c'est de
Slendbed
la
gets
conduite.
there in the
C'est
end.
comme ça que je suis arrivé.
And both players will be on to the final 3 auto-topsy missions of the run. As I say, we're drawing to a close now, but don't count Slendbed out, even though sadly he's up. If he drops a waist,
Non.
there's every opportunity for him to catch up. So, supreme driving will be required of both runners here. I'm sure they've both got the skills.
Dégage de mon chemin,
Hasta la vista!
Hey, on est
Beautiful.
pas supposé faire ça.
I think maybe Snake in French has been my favourite character so far.
Cette ville va me le payer.
Rossa.
Snake in French is basically the same as Snake in English, just a little bit more suave, a bit less.
Yeah, I think that's why I like him.
Oui, destruction gratuite.
So both of them nearly in the same position, but it's just unfortunate for Slendbed that sadly is a split ahead.
Oh,
As I said, let's see how his final closing minutes of the run play out.
Impitoyable. C'est moi qui ai blé. J'ai perdu les commandes.
devient vertical. Là-bas, les mecs.
Je crois que je me... Où est-ce que t'as eu de gâteau? Gâteau.
And sadly, on his final split of the game, let's see how he rounds this out.
J'ai perdu les commandes. 2, 4, 6, 8, t'es nul. Je suis super. À cause de toi, je suis vénère. Non, un petit bonhomme. Hey, je suis un pro. Plus difficile que ça n'a l'air.
I'm waiting with bated breath to see if any mistakes are made by Sadly, to see if there's the opportunity for Slendbed to sneak in here. An interesting reset from Sadly. His car didn't necessarily go in the direction he wanted it to.
Attention, j'ai failli renverser ma glace. Mon temps, on savait s'amuser. Oh non, ma colonne vertébrale. Regarde où tu vas, minable. Regarde où tu vas, minable.
Sadly getting busted there, it doesn't make that much of a difference.
Yep, as I said previously, it will take a few seconds, but it's the coins are now. They're both new passing points. Caring about the coins?
Slendbed is unfortunately having his dropped frames issue again, so. And if you look there, he drops the waist.
Oh dear me. Yeah. One silver lining is it was relatively close to the power plant, so it's not going to be a horrific drive back, but it is going to be a drive back. I imagine that Slendbed is probably going to be playing extremely cautiously now to try and secure that PB, but he's probably on for, given that he's, I believe, 3 minutes, maybe 2.5 up on his current personal best. So Slendbed will really have that in mind.
Without any more issues, the PB I think will be around just under 2.5 minutes.
Which is obviously an exceptionally good PB, especially in the tournament environment. I know a lot of people have been PBing this tournament, myself included actually. Must be something about the tournament setting which makes people do their best.
And at least with me, I know that a PB is basically free now. I didn't get one, but I know it's there for the taking.
Yeah, good point as well. You were, yeah. I remember your one. I commentated on it, didn't I? Yes, of course I did.
And sadly is the winner.
He is. He rounds out here. I don't believe his time has stopped, but I think it was a 1:46.12-ish. See his time is still going because I believe it was a little bit broken. Yep, a 1:46.12 from Sadly. Although we stopped it a little bit late. We're moving on to watch how Slendbed finishes out his run. And hope, cross our fingers and hopefully secures that PB for himself. He just gave a human cookbook as well.
Why me? Where'd you get that? Sweet. Come back, I'm so lonely.
I need a
Now why did I come here again? 2, 4, 6, 8, you suck, I'm great, da 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 da, you I hate. Oh, I'm going to heaven.
Let's watch how Slendbed's gonna wrap this one up. Quite excited for him. Excited for him to get this this personal best. Barring any more glaring issues. The fingers are crossed. That won't happen.
I'll tear you a new corn shoot. Oh, that adrenaline made me feel alive again. Hot diggity! Oh, I'm going to
Hopefully we can get Sadly in for a post-race interview.
Yeah, hopefully, if he's got the time, he'll join us.
And then get Slend in once he has finished as well.
Speaking.
Hello.
Hello. Congratulations on your win, Sadly. How do you think that? How do you think that run went for yourself?
Oh, it's terrible.
We did. I'll be honest. Me and Seasoner did think that you were legitimately memeing with the cutscenes, just so that we could see more of the.
Oh no.
French.
That was terrible. I'm 1 for 4 on up to cutscene this tournament.
With part 1, we wondered if, with part 1 we thought it was just you not getting it, but once you missed Apu, we thought, oh, especially since you didn't you just missed them. We thought, oh, okay, he's trying to meme until you said otherwise.
No, I was trying to one pause the part 1, so I thought I had
We
it.
call sandwiches flat Freddy. It costs more playing cards a bike.
I'm sure Slendbed will be done shortly as well.
Yeah, he's on auto 3, isn't he? I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's been a relatively close race. You guys are going to finish not that far apart. But yeah, let's see how he wraps this up. I think Slendbed's going to now have a pretty good PB for himself as well, which is awesome news.
Should be 149, below 149.
Yeah, and I believe
So with how different the big difference between your PBs, it being this close is actually really good for the viewers, I'd say.
Yeah.
Despite it,
Like, it was
some
a
of
lot
the technical
closer.
issues we may have had with losing frames in the
Timers.
stream.
The
and-
timer's not starting because I changed languages and didn't check it again.
I'm a lean, mean
I checked it, then I changed the language, and I didn't check it again. And also, here he comes. This-
I
this-
feel bad.
Looks like he's wrapping up.
1:49:30.
Wow, that is really good. I believe that's his first, according to chat, his first sub 150. Yes, it is.
That's this. How many rounds did he's played? 3 rounds or 4 rounds? 4 rounds. He's gotten 3 PBs.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
Well, it might have been 3 rounds, but he's PB'd every round.
And apparently the 11th PB of the tournament as well, according to Cypher. Good
Yeah.
stuff. And hopefully Slendbed will join us as well. Well, that was a really good one. I'm sure I definitely enjoyed it. I hope, Seasoner, you did as well. It was good to commentate over both of you.
Let's see if Sun was in the first round of the losers bracket. I can't remember if it was or not.
Can I enter the commentary room? Oh, you should be fine to join, I believe.
Yeah, Sun has PB'd every single round.
Hey, dude.
Hello.
Congratulations on that pretty strong PB. I'm hearing
Thank you.
about.
Thank you. Yeah, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. What time did you get, Salvi?
What?
What time did you get?
I got a 1:46:16 RTA.
Nice.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, it was really close. So obviously, sadly, it did win with that time, but it was really good for us commentating because right up until the end, anything could happen, and it's good to see the 11th PB of the tournament being put in.
Yeah,
As well.
and the third one by me. I PB'd in round 1, 3, and 4, I think.
Yeah, you PB'd every round you played, I think, because you weren't.
Yeah, pretty much.
You weren't in losers round 1, I don't think.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
The only match I didn't PB was against Fatty. So yeah, this is way more than what I expected. I mean, I made it to week 4 in a game I started running 5 weeks ago. I got 3 PBs during the tournament. I got 12 out of 12 cutscene skips during the tournament, which is good. Not a lot of people can say that. So
Yeah, that's true. And also, Cypher says, during this tournament, Slend, if you're interested, you've apparently improved your PB by 11 minutes and 31 seconds.
Yeah, that's true. I started with a 2:01, and now look, I'm a big boy.
Yeah, that's pretty astonishing. I think the lesson we've learned here is we should do some more tournaments. Everyone seems to be,
Maybe if I take part in every tournament, I get the world record by 2020.
Yeah,
There's
man.
11 minutes and 31 seconds every tournament. We need 2 more, I think.
You'll get that.
You got it.
I'll get there, step by step.
Right, that's really good. I've got to shoot real fast, but if you guys want to keep talking, well done, Sadly, and Slembed, a really good race.
GG.
And,
Thank you. GG, sadly.
I'll let Seasoner wrap it out. All right, cheers, guys.
All right, so thank you to Tweedy there. Thank you to Sadly and Slembed for an amazing race. And we will see you. I don't know when the next race is. I should probably check.
We don't have one scheduled right now.
We don't have
The
one
next-
scheduled yet, do we?
Yeah,
The
we're
next one
often.
is Raj v Liquid next week.
Oh, okay. So that will be at some point next week. And until that point, I think we shall say goodbye.
Alright. Goodbye, everybody, and thanks for the commentary.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good GG, Slendbed.
GG, sadly. See ya.
See everyone later.